What the Attorney General testified to in front of the Senate Judiciary Committee was that there were 7,000 criminals who were not prosecuted. 7,000 criminals not prosecuted because of budgetary constraints, because they simply didn't have enough prosecutors to prosecute those cases. Many of them were misdemeanors, but there were also hundreds that were felonies. This is thousands of criminals that were set free and not held accountable. Thousands of criminals that were let go, free to go out and commit other crimes without paying any fines, without getting any court-ordered treatment, without getting any jail time, without getting probation, with scot-free, nothing. Just go ahead. It's like a revolving door. 7,000 criminals. And in a budget bill, we set policy, and we're setting a horrible policy by cutting people in the criminal law division to prosecute criminals. We all campaign on public safety, just like we all campaign on education. Public safety, that is one of the most paramount obligations that we have in this body. In fact, the Alaska Constitution, Article 7, Section 4, says the legislature shall provide for the promotion and protection of public health. Article 7, Section 5 says the legislature shall provide for the public welfare. We have not only a moral obligation, not only an ethical obligation to protect the people of Alaska, we have a constitutional obligation. And we are failing that when we put in place policies that allow 7,000 criminals to simply walk out the door with no punishment whatsoever. So here's our chance to fix it. This is where we come together as a committee of the whole to fix this problem. We discussed this in the Department of Law Budget Subcommittee. In fact, we sent a letter to the full Finance Committee saying, and I agreed, I wouldn't run the resolution in the Department of Law Budget Subcommittee on the condition that we would send this letter as a committee, as a Budget Subcommittee, and ask the full Finance Committee to take this issue up. And what was the response of the full Senate Finance Committee? Not only did they not increase, they actually cut further. They actually cut the Department of Law's budget hundreds of thousands of dollars more. And so we are setting in place a system where, you know, when we're going to hear complaints from our constituents. They're going to say, what did you guys do to fix this problem? And we can say we have the opportunity with this vote to say we passed in our budget an increase in the number of prosecutors, so that we can put these thugs behind bars, get them off the streets, get them the treatment they need, get them on probation so that they can be work with their probation officers, get them vocational rehab if we need to do that, get them to turn their lives around. That's what this amendment is about, Mr. President. We have an obligation to protect the people of Alaska. That is a fundamental constitution of Alaskans. We cannot, if we turn this amendment down, more criminals will go free to rob Alaskans, to assault Alaskans, to create a climate of fear for Alaskans. This is a critical amendment that I would strongly urge the body to pass. Thank you, Mr. President.
Are you ready for the question? Question being, shall amendment number 2 pass the Senate? Members may proceed to vote. Has any senator failed to vote? Secretary will lock the roll. Does any senator wish to change their vote? Secretary will record the vote. Secretary will tally the vote.
5 yeas, 15 nays.
So by a vote of 5 yeas and 15 nays, amendment number 2 has failed to pass the Senate.